I'm Julie Oakes, and when I first moved to the Okanagan in 1978, we were living on a piece of land that was out beyond the electrical lines. And a lot of my work at that particular time was directed at issues that were involving the land. For instance, I did a series about logging practices in the Okanagan. And so this area has been very influential in terms of what it is that my work addresses. From the perspective of living out on the land with no electricity, being fairly isolated with a studio practice, I wanted to have more of a connection with the world at large and people within our community. And so I opened a gallery in Vernon in 1994, Headbones Gallery, with the express purpose of being able to showcase not only Okanagan artists, but also bring in a wider picture of what contemporary art was like to the Okanagan. I, for the most part, like to work sort of on a grand scheme. So I like to work in series. I've worked with specific ideas for each series. The series usually take me about anywhere from 4 to 8 years to complete. So the work that is within this exhibition, the bat columns were part of an exhibition that I did for the Canadian Clay and Glass Museum that was addressing ideas of ecology within calendar constructs. So the bat columns in the beginning were originally 7 bat columns with 280 bats, which in terms of a calendar construct, and this is something that not a lot of people know, especially not a lot of women know, 280 days is the amount of time that we, from conception until birth, are pregnant. So each one of those little bats had on it a date which related to from when I possibly was conceived to my birth date, and more or less symbolized the pregnancy of my mother. And the bats were each bat is individually made, so it was very, very arduous work. It was true labor. And also they're all white bats, and it was a reference to the white nose syndrome of bats that were gradually killing bats. And I like to present this as sort of more of the bat having survived, perhaps mutated in a future iteration to be what it is on the bat columns. That's an example of how my process works, because I always sort of work in a theme that starts from here, moves to there in terms of giving it more depth. Also very important to me always is the aesthetic look of it. Well, the themes of the exhibition being about the cyclical nature of the earth, air, fire, and water are, if this is what the exhibition is about and addressing, I think that the more we can, with our artwork, develop a sense of awe in terms of looking at the pieces and thinking, wow, this is what our world consists of. This is what the appearance that's been given to me of who we are is. That if we can, through art, make that significant and perhaps cause awe, create awe, then it will further the progress of our learning as we're going forward, especially in relation to the earth. I think curated exhibitions are extremely important because of the fact that the public at large is very busy, and they're not necessarily going to be stopping frequently to take consideration of what's being done within the arts. If those curated exhibitions can bring up what is the most potent in terms of a presentation to the public, then this is a way to win people over to an area that has just immense nourishment potential. And I think ArtsCo does a very good job of this in terms of bringing together the community of people within the arts.